I am joined by QQ, my host with the most, my co-host with the most, QQ. How you doing tonight?
I am doing great. We're doing amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing some great Call of Duty. We saw some great stuff yesterday. We're mixing up the map set a little bit. A little bit of good Vutu hardpoint starting off here, getting mixy over here towards this spiral. We've got trades rolling in through the feed. Biofumes will find a kill. You know, get the trades going their way and maybe trying to find themselves some early time here.
So I think if I'm hearing things correctly, I think the teams are switched on our screen. Is that on the... Okay, is it on the stream as well? Okay, all right. Okay. So the teams are switched. We're gonna cast it as it is though, and then we'll adjust later on. Anyway, as is, the Boston Burgers are up 21 points. This is a match I'm very acutely aware of because two of my regular pre-made teammates are on the side of Denver Surrender in Calamity and Whoop. So, I'm making sure these boys do well because if not, they're not making it to Black Ops 7 with me. They are down by 25 though, about. They got to step it up. They do have control of the point so far, but Boston Burgers send them 4 down and it's looking like they're going to have to find a new team for Black Ops 7.
Yeah, looking a little shaky here to start this off, but they're going to find themselves, spawning towards the back here. I mean, they just got to try and find their way out, as in Ben will find a kill. Goop trying to make his way up through the boat. He will get shut down by Prism. Whoops, though, he'll find a kill onto Ben. They're just getting pinned back right now. They're not finding the kills that they need, and Boston is looking like they're going to come out with the rest of these 17 seconds as Denver. They're just going to hit the rotation. They said, screw this hill. We're just going to try and go to the next one. And Prism starting 6-3, and Ben also starting 6-3. If you're Denver, you need to flip this around, down by almost 60 already.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Gavutu is one of those maps where you can make any hill a money hill just because they're so spread apart and there's so many, sight lines that you could just, an AR could just, sit there and, just shoot from across the map. So if, you're going to be down 50 on a map, it might be Gavutu, but that being said, you don't want to be down 50. I will say Denver's doing a great job so far of maintaining this hard point, but you see Boston is trying to creep right on in any way they can. 2 of them go down, though. You see some more members around the circle gets caught out by Whoops. That other member on the point goes down. Denver take back the point. Still about a 40-point deficit, but Denver has got some momentum at this hill at the very least, and it's going to be about how they could carry that through to the next hill and maybe make it a tie game again.
Yeah, I mean, I told them they needed to turn it around, and that's exactly what they did. The lead's cut down to about 30 points here as we head over towards this next set of rotations. In Denver, they've got these rotations, they've got these spawns. Biofumes, though, he might have something to say about it, trying to work his way in through the back. He will find himself onto that hill time, but I mean, if you're him, you just got to wait for your teammates. You got to set up, you got to play your life. Just try and find any picks that you can, just not getting those spawns. Prism, though, will find a couple of kills, but Denver, they're just maintaining those back spawns. They said they can have a little bit of hill time as long as we keep these back spawns, and that's exactly what they do. They're back on the hill. The lead cut down to just 40 points, but as I said, that 3 will fall, make it 4 the way of Denver, but they continue to spawn back there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting flashbacks from when I played this map during the very long Vanguard year. This hill was so annoying because people would just spawn in the back there, and it almost seemed like you could just never get them to stop spawning there. You're seeing it play out in action as Denver has had those spawns for a while, despite Boston being very solid on that hill. You even saw, I think, one of the members just peek out to kill Whoops, who was laying down there, but Denver still retained the spawns. I mean, that never fails to make me laugh. But we are back to the ship area. I think this is probably P5. This is the last point on the rotation. Denver down 70. Definitely not a great hill for them in that last one, but can they hold on to it? And they get literally blown off the hill like the 3 little piggies in the stick hut. the 3 little psychotic piggies. They're gonna blow your house down. In any case, the hill is no man's land for now, but Boston definitely has a lead so far.
Yeah, as you said that, Boston cutting 3 of them down. The last one standing near the hill is going to be Goop. He, though, finds a couple of kills of his own, and I mean, right as I said that, they get 3 down, they get 3 in return. The last 10 seconds looking like it's going to go the way of Denver, but you've got Boston. They're right on the rotations. They said, you know what, screw it. We're up by so much. We can give them these spawn. We can give them those last few seconds. We can just play for this P1. Biofumes, he finds himself on the hill trying to just find whatever he can. He gets shut down. A couple trades coming through the way of Denver, but you know, they're gonna find themselves on the hill, and they, you know, the second set of rotations is where it really matters. You know, this is where the difference can be made. You're down by, you know, you're down by about 60 points here, but you can flip it around with this second set of rotations. As Ram finds his way onto the hill, he'll find a kill onto Calamity. Pulls out the pistol, can't quite find another one. That will be 4 dead in the feed for the way of Boston. That is exactly the start you needed for Denver.
Okay, all right, I'm pulling the contract back out. We might have a Black Ops 7 team. It's only down to a 50-point deficit at this point. That is a great hold on P1. I mean, Boston was just creeping up pretty much at every angle, and Denver was just able to get some very, very crucial kills. Again, we always say this, but it is about how you chain the hills. We're going to the ship area now. You got 5 seconds left on hold. We got 2 players playing for it, but Whoops will lose that battle. But Boston sends 3 down on the side of Denver. They get control of the ship, and now Denver has to figure out how to get onto the ship. But you have that number 8 player in Ambient who is kind of just playing spoiler there and can step out and get some important kills, but actually gets caught early on. Boston loses the ship. They gain it back, but Denver is coming in from every angle. This is how you do a retake. This is, yeah, pretty much a masterclass in how you do a retake. But, you know, you still got random access memories here running on top of the ship. Slides down. God, yeah, well, it's a mixy hill. What can I say? 4 down on the side of Denver. There you go. Boston wins.
Yeah, I mean, insanely mixy on that hill, but I mean, I liked what I saw out of Denver that time. They, on that first rotation, they got shut down. They would pin back in the back of their spawn on that hill, and they found themselves at least somewhat of decent time on that second P2. So, I mean, they're still down by 50 points, but I mean, it could always be worse, some would say. I mean, you do have Ram sitting on a 6 streak, just trying to, I mean, maybe trying to play for that cruise missile and just see what you can get. But Boston, they're finding themselves on this time over towards this P3. And, I mean, and Ben, look at that with the nades. No trophy systems, and he's making you pay for it. Goop, though, trying to find his way a little bit towards the hill, just trying to find some kills for his teammates, trying to open up the map a little bit, maybe. Contesting the time. He knows someone's in the tank, but nope, he will get shut down with a team kill as well coming through. That will not help. Calamity will be the last one sitting near the hill. He will fall. Boston Burgers, 50 points remaining for the win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hill that Denver was so good at defending last time around. And I think, like, Boston is, like, taking up the same kind of places that Denver had last time. So, you know, a little bit of a taste of their own medicine being used against them. They can't win it here, but they bring it pretty close. Boston is already scouted out on the next hill. You got to run if you're on the side of Denver. You got to hope that you get those back spawn cheese right on your side very quick. Hopefully a number 2 player in Whoops and maybe sneak around. He's great at getting those back spawns, but he gets called out. You've got 2 Denver players just in that ship area trying to make it past this little rock here. One gets blown up. One is being a good AR and getting their kills as ARs do. But Boston is still spawning there. Denver, they're encroaching on their territory just enough to get some time on the hill, but Boston is just going to keep on spawning there. That's just the reality of this hill, and that's a reality that Denver is going to have to struggle to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this hill is just relentless, and honestly, that is the sole reason why I absolutely despise this map and game mode combination. Is, you know, 8 more seconds remaining, they can win it on this hill. If you're Denver, you just got to go. The closest players remaining are going to be towards that spiral, and that's going to be it. No one near the hill, and I mean, what a way to go out. Just absolute spawn cheese. Towards the end of that map is Boston take map 1 quite convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, convincing indeed. I mean, the Katie, but you know, going into this Bocage S&D, I'm curious to see how some SMGs perform. We didn't really see a lot of that on Gav, understandably.
Yeah, a little bit of a split approach coming out of Denver for their first offensive approach, but Calamity shuts that down immediately. 2 will fall. The bomb is stuck towards the middle of the map in bottom barn. It is a 3v1 already, all down to Mbend. He is stuck. He's got to go collect that bomb quickly. He's got some people jumping over him. He will fall, and that is a quick defensive round out of Boston.
I think Calamity heard me and he wanted to prove me wrong. And GG's to him. That contract is coming back out again, tentatively, for Black Ops 7. But that was a good round that was a very tight round out of Boston. I think, yeah, only Calamity, but Calamity managed to get two. I think, again, you saw those SMGs. As I finished speaking, like, we got a little bit of an SMG battle right into this kind of shack area. I mean, that's how quick this map is. Can't even get a sense, and then players are already meeting each other in engagements. Looks like another one is developing in this mid-map section. We've got a few players just corners away from each other. Who breaks the wall, but falls at the hands of Ram. And then Biofumes gets onto Whoops, Prism gets onto Sneaky, and it's all up to Calamity to bring this round home for his team. Not able to do it though. Denver will take this round.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. We're making quick work of this search and destroy. Easily tied up at 1-1. I mean, you blink, you might miss it. We're already through 2 rounds. Sometimes I feel like some teams, they kind of just approach this kind of like it's TDM. You know, maybe a little bit of, maybe screw the strategies towards these sites and we're just going to run at you and outgun you. And that's kind of what we saw especially towards the middle of the map in those early rounds.
Oh, for sure. If there's any map that's going to be TDM, it's Bocage, especially in Hardpoint. That
Yeah,
being said,
absolutely.
again, players just running to the middle here. We finally see the little tunnel, the little river route coming to play. Calamity gets a nice kill on the Ram. Whoops goes onto Embiid. And now Boston has the advantage. Looks like the defending team is having an easier time. Calamity goes down again. 3 Boston members left.
Yeah. 3 Boston members remaining. The man advantage going their way again. Prism, though, trying to work his way, try and make some movement here, going unnoticed. Going to try and work his way through the tower. I think he knows that a player's back here, but he doesn't. Oh, can he? Yes, he can. Didn't catch the timing, but he got the gunny onto Whoops. He will find the kill and even up this kill count. Looking like they're trying to work this bomb over towards B as it's going to go down. And a round that was kind of looking up for Boston is kind of looking a little slim now.
Yeah, a little bit slimmer by the minute as Sneaky goes down. It's all up to Goop. Again, Boston start off this really well, but again, it's going to be coming around the corner. Biofumes, their teammate gets the cross angle. Denver will pull it out 2 in a row to go up 1 in the round count. Very defense heavy so far, but Denver's able to flip that trend on its head. We'll see if they can take the defense again and really kind of make a dent in Boston's early lead in the round count here.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to who can win those offensive rounds. These bomb sites are so pushed back towards that defensive side of the map, and like I said, it comes down to whoever can get those offensive rounds and chain them together with those defensive rounds. And Denver trying to do exactly that, but Boston though, coming out with a little bit of a different approach. They're going to send 4 players towards A, 1 a little bit towards that middle area. Maybe slow it down a little bit for them. Try and play for some information and a little bit of map spacing here as a little shots exchanged. Goop will find the opening kill onto Ram, and that is big. You got that opening blood. Now you need to capitalize on it and even up this count as Prism. Towards the back of this tank, just trying to find what he can, trying to get the picks. He knows the bomb's going to go down. Biofumes, though, finds a kill onto Sneaky and evens up the live count at 3v3 as the bomb goes down on A.
Yeah, this is like a triangle formation out of Denver. Your Biofumes wrapped around to the Boston spawn, and now they're just closing in. It's a Bermuda Triangle of death over here as Boston's keeping an eye on the bomb, but Denver looking to find any Boston member. Can't find them because they're all in the house, all just hiding away, but surely we're going to get a gunfight here just in a second. Embiid shoots through the doors. You could do that in this game. The doors break. Prism goes down as well. Boston is on a roll here. It's 1v1 though, Embiid versus Goop. Goop, the last player alive. Again, it's on the bomb. No! Goop goes down, but he gets enough time to save the round for Boston, and it's a tie game again.
Yeah, I mean, that round could have gone terribly pretty quickly for either team there, but Boston, they iced up, they got the kills that they needed, and they played for that bomb plant. I mentioned earlier that they were kind of playing a little bit of TDM towards the middle of the map, but no, we saw some great search and destroy strategies out of Boston there. They said, we're gonna get the bomb down and we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna sit in corners, we're gonna be annoying, and we're gonna camp in corners while we know we have this bomb down and make them come to us.
But you know what they say, a new round is a new opportunity. Embiid is going to lead it off with a cooked grenade there. Gets nothing, but Sneaky does go down near that bottom tank area. Calamity follows his friend into the dark. Random access memory, using all that processing power on the bomb as we speak. Whoops, being a little scaredy cat here in the back bushes area. He's going to have to make a move at some point. He can't defuse the bomb with the force. Different game, Battlefront. But
And
whoops, playing this I guess charitably stealthy is, yeah, no, that didn't work out.
yeah, didn't quite work out in his favor. Maybe, 1v3, maybe he's just trying to see anything he can get. Maybe he's given up a little bit, said here, here's a free kill, maybe a little bit of a charity, but we're seeing a little bit of back and forth here. We're trading rounds, we're trading offense, we're trading defense. This is a good map. You're seeing a little bit more fight out of Boston here than from that map one. As you've got Goop at 4-4. Not the flashiest of KDs, but still, you're seeing more fight out of them. I know they're down a round, but I'm interested to see how they approach this offensive round, trying to even it up. Is it's looking like they're going to come out with a little bit of a different approach, kind of changing it up round around here, maybe trying to wing it a little bit, as working their way towards the middle of the map, but still playing that little bit of a patient approach. Biofumes, though, on the head glitch, finds the kill onto Calamity, trying to find another one onto Goop. He will get shut down and take a friend with him. My goodness, that was a little bit of a weird engagement there, as it will be a 3v2, the man advantage towards Denver, as it's looking like the Whoops is going to try and rotate this bomb over towards B.
A team that plays together dies together, and Boston is a perfect example of that. The problem is, even though that's very sentimental, you're now down a player. Denver, up 3, just has to wait for Boston to make a move on this bomb. Boston playing very timid in the meanwhile. Denver being very good about just holding their positions. I feel like in these scenarios, we see a lot of teams just kind of get impatient and just try to chow something. Denver is being really good about holding their position, knowing that that Boston needs to make a move. You see Boston kind of skulking around this bottom tank area. Prism catches Whoops, gets a few shots on him, but not able to seal the deal. Sneaky does go down, and meanwhile, Whoops is getting some tags onto Ram, but not enough. Whoops, it's going to be the James Bond pistol play. Can he get something?
3 seconds remaining, not looking likely. He will fall. Denver with another round. They got that crucial 2-round advantage. They were going back and forth a little bit in those first few rounds, but now they're up 4-2. They can maybe play a little bit more comfortably here, maybe try some different strategies and things like that. But like I said, I was right as I started to compliment Boston, they immediately just slapped it right back in my face. Make it a 6 spree for Ben, trying to get that glide bomb coming through. And, Boston, I asked for, maybe to try and see some light, and I'm not quite seeing it so far.
Yeah, I mean, this defense might be a round that they need. A defense a little bit easier typically, or at least more statistically easier. The trade does come through though. Calamity on the Ram, but Embiid onto Calamity. It is a 3v3 so far, as Denver looks like it's eyeing this A bomb site. Sneaky might be able to get a good line of sight on one of these players if they just move away, or if Sneaky pushes a little bit. But Denver just playing together, bullets going from building to building, and finally Sneaky will get a kill and open it up just a little bit for Boston here.
Yeah, a big kill there from Sneaky onto Mbend there. Just, shutting down that kill streak and giving yourself the life advantage, down 4-2. That was big. Goop, though, he's back towards the barn, maybe trying to catch a timing on a Bio. He will. Biofumes will fall. It is all down to Prism. He immediately finds a kill onto Sneaky, gets it into a 1v2. We've seen crazier things happen, but bomb is down over towards that A site, and he's stuck back here in these spawns, just trying to find what he can, checking the corners. 13 seconds remaining. I don't know if he's trying to maybe just try and win this on kills, but he's got to collect the bomb and he's got to plan it quick. Not looking like it's going to happen. He will get spotted by Goop. The shots will get exchanged. He will fall. Boston with a round that they so very needed.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you definitely don't want to make this a 5-2 game. Even if the statistics are against you, certainly your own mental state is as well. Boston, though, 4v3 now, they're on offense. I mean, I also think this is a make or break round for them too. 5-3 is still scary as well. I think they're gonna have to win an offense here. I don't know if their second win was an offense or not, but
I think it
they've
was.
won. Oh, okay. So they won 2 defenses, 1 offense. They're gonna have to do it again. Goop is gonna open it up, but gets traded out again. The last round went this way as well, so maybe no fear here, but we'll have to see, as it looks like Ram is about to run into a Boston member, but runs away.
Yeah, maybe playing a little bit of ring around the rosy here over towards the bottom of Grandma's house, but Whoops sitting in the window playing on the head glitch gets absolutely ripped. His head got taken off. Ram with a big kill onto Whoops to give Denver that man advantage, and Bomb will go down over towards that B site. Prism gets tickled in his foot, turns around and slaps Sneaky in the face with his bullets. All left down to Calamity in a 1v2. Prism and Ben just trying to lock this down for their team and get to that match point. You know, Calamity, though, over towards these bottom grandmas, you know, he's still got to go collect that bomb. He thinks maybe he's aiming at some ghosts over here towards this back spawn. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication on the comp. Did he think he had the bomb?
He's still
I'm
playing
not sure what he
Phasmophobia.
thought.
He's hunting ghosts.
He
He's
might
hunting
still be
ghosts.
playing Phasmophobia like he was. That's maybe why he was a little bit late to this. But no, he gets turned into the ghost. No more hunting him. Denver will get that round. They are now on match point.
I wonder what type of ghost Calamity will be. Maybe a poltergeist? I don't know. He certainly is going to haunt this map if he loses it, though. Down 5-3. This could be the turning point, not only in the map, but in the series as well. If Boston loses this one, they're on defense, so maybe a little bit easier for them, but their backs are against the wall here. They have to find a way to contain Embiid and Prism, who are honestly making really good moves on the side of Denver. Biofume's nothing to scoff at as well. Again, we see both teams kind of scouting out the middle here. Calamity will use that SMG to fire some shots into that shed there, get some tags on the Prism, but nothing big going down so far.
Yeah, I mean, Calamity's eating those nades. He's getting Calamity rained down on him as the Glime Gob from Ben will come in. It will not find a kill. Calamity, he will find a kill onto Ram. Prism, though, will immediately trade him out, get this quickly into a 3v3. The bomb is down, though. Denver, I mean, they're around the bomb as it will be picked up by Bend. 46 seconds remaining in the round. Goop, though, he will find a kill onto Biofumes. The man advantage will go the way of Boston, but Bend immediately evens it up. Goop finds another kill onto Prism, and just like that is all down to Bend. He does have the bomb, though, working his way through these tunnels like a little bit of a sewer rat, finds the kill onto Goop. 1v1. 27 seconds remaining in Bend versus Sneaky. Can Sneaky catch the timings? Will he check the bomb in time? No, it goes down and Bend gets away. And Bend back in the tunnel like the gremlin he is. Sneaky cannot find the kill. He loves that tunnel.
Oh my
Sneaking
God.
around like a sewer rat. And Denver take map 2.
I have no words there.
Do it. I will always have faith in the people that I watch. I don't care who it is. There's always hope. It is never over until the fat lady sings. Boston immediately coming out with a 4-man push over towards this A site, but you know, Denver, they're ready for it. 2 will fall the way of Boston, 1 falls the way towards Denver and Goop. The last one remaining towards this A point, he will get cut down, and Boston immediately shoved back towards their spawn, forced to reconstruct their game plan.
Yeah, I mean, the way they're playing, they might just go straight to the 8 circle at this point. Boston trying to get onto that A zone, but Denver is cutting them down as they come up, as they step up to the plate. I mean, if you're Boston, you have a major territory problem here. I think finally you have Whoop spawning over B, maybe deciding to go to B, but at that same time, you have Prism ready to meet him. Prism, though, kind of walks into the middle of the map, actually does get cut down. So Whoops might be able to get some time on 2, but on B, but we also have a play coming in on A. Goop is at least maybe able to get a tick. Goop is able to cut that player down on A, and at the same time, B is being captured. Boston has turned this around. We're thinking 5th circle. We're thinking 5th circle.
Yeah, they're working their way up the ladder here as they're trying to get a little bit of a double cap rolling through. It's looking like Denver, though, might try and chalk this A point as Prism will be the last one remaining over towards there, and that, as I said, that 8-point will come through. A tick and a half already captured over towards B. And Boston, you're sitting pretty over here. You're up 3 lives. You've got a minute and a half to work with. All you got to do is focus on your game plan, get the rotations that you need, and cut these players down. But here we are again, getting cut down. 3 will fall the way of Boston. Goop, though, will eventually find a trade onto M-Band over towards this top church. Can't quite find the next kill onto Ram. And Boston, again, forced back in their spawn and forced to readjust their game plan.
I think Goop has turned into the Hulk here. 8-2. Goop is actually absolutely frying here. So much that he even gets a glide bomb. Unfortunately, not able to find anything on it. But Goop now back in the action with a gun. Maybe he could be a little bit more useful here. Although Denver, with the 8-point down, they have all surrounded the B point. They really do not want to give it up. But you have Goop coming in, gets a kill on the Prism. You also have another player on the side of Denver go down. If you're Boston, at the very least, you were able to get Denver out of the hill. They were pretty much all 3 on it, so you're able to spread them out a little bit. Boston, you have a player in that back church area. You might be able to do something with that if you just get the right kills at the right time. But that number 2 player, Whoops, is waiting for his teammates to actually come in and back him up, and they're just not able to do it right now.
Yeah, I mean, the last one standing over towards that hill, he's just got to sit back and wait for his teammates. 15 seconds remaining. The lives no longer in their advantage, but, I mean, you just got to go. But like I said, that sneaky 3 will fall, make it 4, 5 seconds remaining. No one's near the hill. The round will finish there. Calamity and being just stat padding at this point towards the end of that round, but there we go. Denver, they lock it in. They lose that 8-point early, but they lock it in, and they lock down that B point.
I mean, credit where credit is due. Like control theory, I guess, says that you really shouldn't win your offenses, and you're doing well if you get above 3 ticks, and they got 4 ticks. So, I mean, typical control strategy speak says they're ahead. Although it does, they do seem very energy bursty, where they will just get a burst of energy and just take over, and then they just can't do anything the rest of the round. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but Pig runs into the entire Denver Surrender team, manages to get a kill, but I mean, he's just tracked down, and the Denver boys, they're all over B. They have claimed B for themselves. 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for Denver kind.
Yeah, Denver, they had a pretty good approach there. They sent 3 men over towards that B point, and they ran straight through it. They went all gas, no brakes, and I think they pressed the gas pedal a little bit too long because they didn't stop and get on the hill. 3, though, will fall the way towards Boston as that 8-point is going to start flying when you've got 3 guys on that hill. And Boston, at this point, you just got to back up and make sure you secure that B point. You did get a tick on B last round on your offense, so as long as you don't allow a tick over here towards B, you will maintain that tick advantage if you need to go to that round 5. So 2 will fall the way towards Denver. A few trades rolling in the feed towards the way of Denver. But, like I said, Denver, they're just going to back up a little bit. We'll find a few picks here. Biofumes will cut down Sneaky, and they're just going to try and find their way slowly. You've got a minute 45 to work with, and the life advantage by 1.
Life advantage by 1. Denver has the luxury of only needing to focus on 1 point. We have Sneaky going down in church. Maybe that's a fast track to heaven. I don't know. We have Boston kind of scouting out in the back church there, a little bit afraid to move up. You do get a crucial kill on the Prism in that top roofs area, but Biofumes responds right on back. You do have to deal with number 8 in Church Alley, and that will be dealt with. You have number 6 and Embiid in that back church area, but otherwise, Boston's doing a great job at getting these kills on that roof area and just making sure that the reinforcements do not come through. You have that number 6 player in the back spawn area, but not a problem yet. Finally, they get him down. You're going to have to deal with the rooftop push, but Boston doing really, really well so far.
Yeah, what a great read and great comms out of Boston there. They recognized that Mbin was in their spawn, and so they realized when the rest of those Denver players are going to spawn up, they're going to be sprinting through that top roof area, and that's exactly what happened. He went under the stairs, and they found the kills that they needed. It was a great read out of Boston and a great defensive play as, Denver was forced to reset, and they're trying to find their way through this A side over towards this B point. 22 seconds remaining. Boston now has the life advantage by a couple of kills, but 2 will fall towards the way of Boston. And is Denver. They're going to find themselves 2 guys on the time. That time slowly going to start to roll through. Goop, though, he might have something to say about it. Some trades rolling in the feed towards the way of Boston. Make that 4 in the feed. Last one standing in the back will be Prism. Cutting a couple people down there, keeping his team alive in this on a 5 spree. And 4 seconds remaining, though. You got to get on the hill. You got to go. 0.3 seconds. No more time is left. Boston a little bit shaky towards the end of that round, but they come through.
Oh, they're not going to the deep circle of hell. They managed to get a round, which is good for them. They actually also managed to not let Denver get a 4th tick. So, I mean, Boston right now is up in ticks. Let's see if we could keep that trend going. But, I mean, let's just say it. I think if Boston's going to win this map, it's going to be on the back of Goop. Goop is performing so well over here. And I think, I mean, honestly, if they have a shot at winning this map, Goop is going to have to maintain that momentum. You see Boston maybe pulling a card from Denver Strat, but they're not as synchronized. You do get all 3 of those rooftop players down. You do manage to get on A as you're serving up a little distraction on that B side of the map. But for how long will there be calm and peace at A? I don't know. You have to deal with that number 5 in Prism. He is on a murdering spree right now. You're gonna have to get whoops. But some shots on, Goop goes around, gets the kill, and now Boston is cleared for A as long as they don't look behind them.
Yeah, maybe should have looked behind them a little bit there, but that second tick did not come through onto A. That is big if you are Denver. That second tick didn't come through, but you've got a couple Boston players on their point here towards B. Sneaky in the back of their spawns. Make that 3 down in the feed. Make it 4. Denver is forced to spawn up. You've got them spawning out with 3 back in your spawn. They're all going to be funneling through this church alleyway. Biofumes will find a kill onto Calamity, trying to find his way out of time. Immediately gets shut down by Sneaky. Whoops finds a kill of his own. And if you're Boston, you've got that A point captured, and you just got to try and work your way towards B and get some help over here for Sneaky.
I mean, Sneaky's living up to the namesake. I think like just lasted way too long on that point. Denver was all around it. They just didn't think to get that guy off. Doesn't get the second tick, but he does quite a bit there. Now Boston is making their assault here through Church Alley, just one by one. Can they get a kill on the Biofumes? Yes, they can, but they have to look at those arches. Goop, another glide bomb coming through, gets a kill on the Ram. Again, that arches player being such a problem, doesn't get the kill, but lets Embiid get a double. Goop, though, responding with a double of their own, and it's just back and forth. Goop is on a tear, a 4 streak, perhaps another glide bomb on the way.
Yeah, Biofumes exchanging a few love taps over there towards Goop. Maybe got a little bit of scared with, Goop being 26 and 14, sorry, but, some kills rolling in. Make that 3 down, make it 4 for Boston. If you're Boston, gonna have to hit a little bit of a reset here, Try and spawn up, try and come in with some new strategies here, but you've got some time. You've got 9 minutes to work with. You've got the life advantage by 3. Maybe slow it down a little bit. You've got 3 and 2 working their way up towards these top church side of this area, trying to work their way through that alleyway. And, Denver, you've got to hold this down. You've got 1 tick over there towards B. You've got a minute left remaining, and Sneaky, though, he will find a kill onto Biofumes. Boston just trying to work their way through. Goop towards this top church, top roof area, just trying to play for information. Spots Ram, he will find the kill, turns right around, finds another one onto Prism, eventually gets shut down by Ben, but Boston, they're going to find themselves on the hill and try and close out this offensive round.
Goop has consumed some substance between map 2 and 3 because he is just on an absolute tear. He is just getting all the important kills and just making opportunities for his team to capitalize on it. And it looks like they're trying to do just that. Just one more player on the B point standing in their way, and it goes down. Boston Burgers will win an offense with a defense round on the way. They are looking poised to take this map number 3 and give us the first on-stream map 4 of the season.
Oh my goodness, what a round. They didn't quite get that last tick onto B, so they will be sitting at 8 ticks, but still, you won that offensive round. That is crucial. That is big. And I mean, like you said, talk about Goop. I don't know what this guy took in between map 1 and 2, but he's 29-17, putting the team on his back. Absolute insanity coming out of Goop and just Boston as a whole. Couple of trades, though, rolling through the feed towards the side of Denver, but Denver, they're going to work their way onto this A point with a tick already about to roll through. Goop, though, going towards this midpoint, trying to have something to say about it. Absolutely ripping kids today. 2 will fall towards Denver. 2 more will fall. Make that 4 dead in the feed. Boston shut down that initial push out of Denver. That is a great start to this defensive round.
Yeah, and they get the player at B too. I mean, last round we saw Sneaky just kind of sit on B and at least get 1 tick, but Boston able to have the cognizance to just put an end to that, nip that one right in the bud. Now you see Denver wondering what they have to do now. You see a few players going over to B. You see one player just kind of laying on A over there. It's going to be if Boston can respond with some kills. They get 2, but they still have to deal with that player on A, and you see Ram just kind of deciding if they want to push forward to get onto that B point. But you see Boston pretty much full committing on A, just being certain to not let this one slip through the cracks. But two Boston members go down in the process, and they're going right to A as they respawn again. But B is under attack. You have to get that player in Ram before this gets out of control. 1 tick is through. Whoops, finally able to put an end to that. Has to deal with the player that crept behind in their spawn as well, but at least Boston has regained some control of the situation.
Yeah, a little bit of regain on the situation, but they lost that in the positioning on the map. Had to force to back up a little bit there. Ram popping a little bit of extra shots into the body there, but of Whoops, but you know, if you're Denver, you got that crucial A point. You've got that 4th tick onto B. If you can get at least 1 more tick onto B, you can at least even up the count in the ticks department. But a team nade and a couple of kills for Boston are not going to help your case. And Ben, though, will finally find one onto Calamity. But Goop over towards these top church chairs, just trying to catch the timing. Doesn't quite catch it though. They're sitting up and down of each other, spots some players towards the middle, cuts back down towards Church, finds a kill onto Ben, some pipe fire shots coming in, the nade comes through, he can't find the kill, make that 3 down for Denver, and Denver again, forced to back up and forced to reset. You've got a minute to work with, but look at the lives. You're down by 7 lives. You've got to be pretty flawless going into the rest of this round.
Yeah, but listen, I'm going to be honest. I play with these guys. If there's one team that's going to screw up a short slam dunk like this, it's going to be these guys. That being said, Denver getting on to the B point, Boston getting some kills. At some the live count down. Yeah, Boston just getting more kills. My stream cut out and like it cut back in and it's like, oh, Denver's down to 3 kills. That's awesome. 12 versus 3 now. Boston is I think they're gonna win this one. I'm sorry, they're not going to hell. Calamity, please perform like this in our match tonight. Thank you. Love you. Good job, Boston.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it. We're finally going to a map number 4 live on the broadcast. There is such thing as a map 4. And maybe we might even see... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for the first map number 4 of this Vanguard throwback season. Denver Surrender, Boston Burgers. We're getting right into this one. We are here. P1 immediately going to be contested. Denver, though, going to find themselves a few times here. Some trades coming through the feed towards the way of Denver. Goop, though, over here towards this might have something to say about it. He knows Ram's over here on this hill, but where exactly is he? Coming in with the pistol. He will find the kill, gets the break that they need, and Boston immediately gets the break and finds himself some time of their own.
Yeah, Whoop's doing his best to reverse the Tuscan curse over here. Just down by 10 to start here, but getting some nice kills onto Denver, if I do say so myself. But Boston around the hill, not quite on the hill. Finally, they step onto it. But now it's going to be about P2. You have 2 members of each team battling it out for initial dominance, and Goop will win that. Goop is not iced from the previous map, starting 5-1, 5-2 make that. But still, very impressive start so far. Definitely going to need him to perform if Boston wants to push this to a map number 5.
Yeah, exactly. Not slowing down at all. Make it 6-2 now on the docket for Goop in this map. Make it 3 down in the feed towards the way of Denver. My screen has frozen. I cannot see what is going on. I hear some kills rolling through the feeds.
Boston is doing very well. They have the point. Yeah, Boston has the point. Up like 15 points in the match. I think his computer crashed. I can hear you.
I am here, but I cannot see anything.
Okay. God damn it. Okay, God damn it. Webcam is no good. It's like I saw it. I saw when you took it out, I was seeing it. Sorry, production issues here, folks.
Okay, I am back.
I see it.
We are here.
Okay. All right, we sorted it.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I maxed out the hotspot on my phone. If my internet goes out, I sincerely apologize. It is very bad in my apartment, but here we are towards this P3. The time will remain a little bit white here, but Denver finding themselves on the hill. 3 will fall the way towards Boston. I mean, immediately. Denver trying to make quick work of this money hill on this P number 3. Calamity, though, trying to put his 2 cents over here towards this hill as it will remain white again. 3 will fall the way towards Denver. You know, Denver found themselves a little bit of time there towards that hill, but immediately got shut down. They will collect that scrap time, though, but Boston immediately on those rotations towards that bottom church in P number 4 Calamity, all the way back here towards this bottom tank.
Yeah, Boston up 30, which is way more than at any point during their first hard point. They really look like they're on a roll here. At the very least, Goop looks like he is just the king of Tuscan Italy at this point. But Denver being very pious in the church over here. But Boston trying to do their 10 commandments, jumping around the corner. But Denver will not let them have it. Boston just finally able to get onto church. But again, Denver's just there to retake it again. 30 seconds left. I don't think you give this up quite yet, but it's just so mixy that, like, you can't give it up, but you're not really going to get a lot of time from it. Finally, it looks like Boston gets a solid footing. I would say that they're going to get scrap time, but Embiid looks like they're circling the church like a piranha, but just doing just that, circling the church and not really getting onto the point. Gave up a lot of scrap time doing this little dancey dance. Finally able to get the last Boston member on the church side, but on to the next hard point, and Denver they're just taking over.
Yeah, Denver starting to take over and Bend heating up, make it 14-8 on a 2 spree. And, you know, I didn't notice it. I'm not sure who that was towards that bottom church, but he has no sight. I don't know what that is on his MP40 or whatever that was. It looked a little strange. I don't know what that was. But Denver, they're going to find themselves on this time. A little bit of a contest coming in from Goop. He will fall. Sneaky and Calamity. Some trades rolling in the feed. Denver, though, will come out with the trades, with winning the trade battle there. Ram shutting down Whoops. The time remaining towards Denver as we've got this lead change rolling through. Denver trying to come back, trying to build this lead. 18 seconds left on the hill. You've got a couple players for Boston rotating. You've got 6 and 5 over there trying to just reset this map a little bit with the last 10 seconds remaining. Sneaky, though, might have something to say about it. He wants these 7 seconds, and he does get them. Gonna have a tie game going into this second set of rotations. It is a banger so far.
Yeah, it's a banger so far. I will say I think the key to Boston's success here has been, like, pretty consistent playing across all of its teammates. Obviously, Goop doing pretty well, but the rest of their teammates pretty even, which, I mean, I don't think we've really seen in the respawns thus far. On the side of Denver, you have a couple of players really struggling here. Well, Prism in particular maybe needs to step it up, and maybe Denver could claw their way back into it. But I mean, Boston playing very consistent so far. But I mean, that being said, they had a 30-point lead at one point. Now they're pretty much down 30, and I mean, yeah, Boston is going to have to reorganize their strategy because whatever they're doing right now is not working out. Denver is right back on into this game, and I mean, Denver, they've already got spawns for next, so Boston at real risk of the score really getting out of their control here.
Yeah, on a map like Tuscan in a hard point, you can get out of hand quick. You know, Boston going to collect a little bit of that scrap time, but obviously not going to be quite enough. The lead only about 35 points here going into this second P2 here, but Denver again finding themselves on the time. They're winning these kills. 2 fall in the feed towards the way of Boston. Make it all 4. All 4 players for Boston going to be spawning out. The last 2 towards the hill will be remaining towards this top this top plat side. Goop trying to find his way through the back. Ram is ready for it, shuts him down. All the players for Boston going to be funneling through this top side, getting shut down. The last one again, remaining near the hill, will be Sneaky, and Bend shuts down Goop. I mean, Boston, they found themselves onto the time somehow. 7 squeaked his way through and found some crucial kills, but Biofumes shuts him down. Those last 20 seconds looking like it's going to go the way towards Boston. Biofumes gets cut down by Goop, but Denver again over on these rotations. Can Mbend lock this down for his team and get the lead even bigger? No, he gets shut down. Rams though immediately here for the trade, and we've got a trade battle. It is an absolute grueler for these spawns.
Yeah, I will say, like, I mean, reverse Caster Curse, we talked about Prism needing to step it up, and then Prism stepped it up. They got 7 in a row, and I'm pretty sure they now have a Glide Bomb to work with, so keep that in the back of your heads, dear audience. That can be very, very crucial in a game like this that seems to be very close by all accounts. Gotta say, pretty impressed with Boston, how they've gone back onto the point. This one is the hard one due to that back little AR spot. Not always easy to take back control of the point. They were able to do it, but now they lost it again. You're really, really counting on Goop to make a play in that little corner over there, but not able to do it. Looks like Denver's going to get the rest of that scrap time in it. That is not good. They're going to be over the 200-point mark. You see, Boston is not happy about that. They are challenging this scrap time, trying to at least prevent Denver from getting it. They will collect some scrap time, but it's all going to be about how can you get onto the next point, and Denver is already there practicing the Stations of the Cross.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Boston, maybe a little bit of a miscommunication of how much time was left on that last hill, or, I mean, at this point, you're going to have to capitalize on these breaks, though. 2, though, do fall the way towards Denver as Goop finds another kill onto Ram. They find that break that they needed. Right as I mentioned it, they found it. They got that break, but now can they hold it? And the answer is no. 3 will fall in the feed towards Boston, make it all 4, though. They are spawning in the back. Gonna try and find their way through this back church area, slide in through the back door. But, you know, Denver just not relenting. Some, you know, a little bit of warning shots from Prism there. Send him in to his teammates. Some trades rolling through the feed. Whoops, though, finds 2 kills to his name. The time still remaining towards Denver, though. 15 seconds remaining on this hill. If you're Boston, at what point do you say, guys, let's freaking rotate? You've got to go towards this next hill, as Denver only needs 30 seconds to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're down by, you know, when the other team is like within 20 points of winning, it really limits your options. You have to play for scrap time. You have to make sure Denver doesn't even get a second. Good news is Boston doesn't really give up the rotation. Looked pretty bad to start, but they got a 4 down, I'm sure, on Denver. Now you've got Prism walking in the well, but gonna get caught by the player in the corner there. Although Denver getting some kills back, getting a teammate as well. But I think 2 Boston Burger players goes down. You still have some presence there, but it's all up to Sneaky to just wait for the reinforcements. Sneaky goes down, Whoops goes down, but the kills are traded out. Boston is fighting their way to another map for victory. We'll have to see if they get it. Odds are not in their favor, but they are working very hard to flip those odds on their head.
Yeah, not going to go down without a fight, as 2 more will fall for Denver. And Bend, though, shuts that down immediately with 2 kills of his own, collecting that scrap time. Going to need less than 10 seconds, only 8 remaining to go to secure this map and secure this series. Boston, though, they're locking it down. They're hitting these rotations. 2, though, will fall, but 2 followed in the feed for Denver. But no, Prism finds the 2-piece. 5 more seconds to go. If you're Boston, you gotta run. You've gotta just sprint Usain Bolt your way towards this hill. The time is contested. Calamity finds a kill onto Ram. Gonna loop his way through this U. Finds another one, but Biofumes eventually shuts him down. The time is still contested. 30 seconds remaining. The time is no longer contested. Sneaky, though, shuts down Biofumes. 1 more second to go, and that will be it. Boston, fighting for every last second that they could, but Denver shuts them down and gets that map 4 win and secures the series.
Heartbreak.